Hello, welcome to 9-inch Charge, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to have a look at the Tarantulos Brood War Scroll from Warcry Red Harvest and see how they play in the core game of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. These are a fantastic range of models that will look great on the tabletop, so let's hope that the rules reflect that as we have a look at them. Just be sure to drop this video a like if you enjoy it, and please be sure to subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more like this in the future. Worshippers of a dark power called the Eightfold Watcher, these strange and sinister warriors have wrought dark rituals of tainted arachnid blood and varanite upon their flesh to alter their form to be a dark mirror of their master. The Tarantulos Brood have a move characteristic of 8, a save of 6+, a bravery of 6, 1 wound each, and carry the keywords Chaos, Slaves to Darkness, Mortal, Cultists, Tarantulos Brood, and come in at 110 points with a unit size of 13. Take straight away from this are that move of 8 inches, which is absolutely huge. They're going to be really quick across the tabletop, and the models do reflect that. They look like they're going to be coming at you and leaping, halfway across the board. So that's really cool. So a very quick unit, able to get on objectives nice and fast. Save of just 6+, in the current meta might as well be 0. So they aren't going to be the most survivable, so you're going to want to get the jump on people, so hopefully the move will help that. The keywords, cool that they're cultists, very cool that they're cultists actually, because in the White Dwarf volume 468 there was a Tome Celestial on Slaves to Darkness, where they made cultists able to be battle line units and also able to take marks of chaos. So you'll be able to give these guys a little bit of a buff actually, just through giving them a mark of chaos. And 110 points for 13. 13 is an odd number for a unit in Age of Sigmar, but pretty much they are a unit of 10 led by a brood master that have 3 spider swarms with them as well, and that's why they're a unit of 13. The Tarantulos Brood are armed with brood weapons, which have a range of 2 inches, 2 attacks each, 4s to hit, 4s to wound, no rend, and 1 damage. On the face of it, this isn't the best because only 25% of the attacks are actually going to get through to cause wounds. But remember, they can take marks, so there are ways to buff this. For example, you can give them rerolls of 1s if they're Khorne, and Nurgle and Slanesh both have exploding attacks, doing respectively adding 1 to the damage characteristic on a hit of a 6, or scoring 2 hits on the hit roll of a 6. The other attacks, the envenomed projectiles and the venomous bites, are from the spider swarms, and a venomous bite has a range of 1, has 4 attacks, hits on 5s and wounds on 3s, which is actually pretty good because there's going to be 3 of these, so you're talking 12 attacks from these little spiders. Although it's difficult for them to hit, there are ways to increase hit, as we know, with all that attack and other things like that, so I quite like that. And envenomed projectiles is a shooting attack with a range of 8, 1 attack, 4s to hit, 2s to wound, no rend, and 1 damage. I really like that 2s to wound. It does make it feel like once the venom has hit you, it's really poisonous and just really likely to cause a wound and like sink into your flesh and start tearing you apart from the inside. I think that's very cool. Okay, so let's have a look at the abilities. So first up we have Broodmaster. 1 in every 13 models in this unit must be a Broodmaster. Add 1 to the attacks characteristic of that model's melee weapons, and in addition, the Broodmaster can issue commands to their own unit. Personally, I'd like to have seen add 2 to the attacks characteristic of him, because he's got 4 arms, so he's got twice as many attacks. He's holding 4 swords, so why not give him 4 attacks instead of 3? But it's fine. It's cool that he can issue commands to his own unit. Next up is the Spider Swarms, which is 3 in every 13 models in this unit must be Spider Swarms. Spider Swarms are armed with venomous bites instead of brood projectiles and envenomed projectiles. And that goes along with Creeping Summons. The Broodmasters of the Eightfold Watcher have strange and dark symbiosis with the swarms of the venomous spiders that accompany them, calling forth an ever-growing horde that can overwhelm the enemy. And you can see that on the model actually. He's got spiders crawling off his back and onto the floor and all over him. So at the start of your hero phase, you can return D3 slain spider swarms to this unit for each Broodmaster in the unit. So if you reinforce this unit, you could have 26 models, 2 Broodmasters and 6 Spider Swarms and return 2 D3. I think it's cool that you can return those. It kind of makes me think that you want to push up with these first and have them at the front of the lines. I'll get them in the way so they're the ones taking the damage. just remember that their attack is only 1 inch and the brood weapons are 2 inches. So what you can do is push those up first and then attack over the top of them. And then when the enemy retaliate, you take off your spider swarms in the hope that you'll be able to bring them back to the unit in the next hero phase. And the last ability is Skittering Ascent. Through profane and flesh-altering rituals, the warriors of the Tarantulos brood can scuttle across terrain with the speed and skill of a true arachnid. When this unit makes a move, it can pass across terrain features in the same manner as a model that can fly. This ties into what we said in the beginning about them being really quick, and it's cool that they have this. I think, to be honest, this is going to be their saving grace, because their save is only 6+, so they're going to get shot to pieces or devoured in combat, and you have to make sure that they're safe and get into combat effectively. So I think this ability will really come into play, because what you're able to do now is to put them behind a line of sight blocking piece of terrain, out of harm's way. No one will be able to see them, and then they can just leap over it and get into combat against anything that comes their way. And that's everything for the Tarantulos brood. I think they're really cool. I'd love to see them on the tabletop. Consider taking them as your battle line reinforced. I know they're not going to survive too long and their damage output isn't brilliant, but they do have a bit of regen and a few shenanigans of being able to leap over terrain and stuff like that. I just think they're so characterful, to be honest. I think if you're a Slaves to Darkness player, and especially if you're interested in the narrative, I think they'd be a really cool addition to your army. And remember, they can be battle line and they can take marks of chaos. But let me know in the comments what you think. Will you be taking them? Will you be using them? Do you think there's any other utility for them? As ever, thank you very much for watching. Thank you especially to everybody who made it to the end of the video. And I'll catch you next time.